Kisha delivered her baby on her own too. Like, nice. Baby came out and doctor pretended that she caught the baby.
I know.
Why are we paying you?
I know you were telling me that she didn't even have her gloves on.
And wow.
She had like 1.5 gloves on.
Kisha was like, I know what I'm doing.
Slid her hand in there like, look what I did. No.
Shit, my doctor almost dropped my baby.
Oh my God.
Yeah, so they like had just broken my water like maybe 15 minutes before I started pushing, and so like not all the water was out, and so like there was a lot of water pressure coming out with her.
Oh my God.
She was swimming out. Yes, she was like swimming out, and so when she popped out, it was this fountain, and it just splashed. I mean, the doctor was drenched, and my mom was like, she almost slipped out of his hands because it was just so wet. That's so gross.
It's in birthday for a
baby. Yeah.
Hi, friends. Welcome back. This is our second installment of our pregnancy and childbirth series that we're doing. And we have another amazing guest that we're so excited to talk to today. But first, Kisha, can you hit us with our socials real quick, just right off the top?
Yes, I can. If you are looking for us, we are on all the social media platforms. We are on Facebook, Twitter, TikTok. We're on YouTube, and we also have a Patreon. So if you want to hear some of the content that we discussed before we hit obviously we're recording, but before we put on our professional hats, you may want to subscribe to our Patreon. It's $5 a month, and it will charge you on the same day every month. And I'm telling you, it's better than your cup of coffee at Starbucks, and it's cheaper because Starbucks is ridiculously high right now. So,
and it'll give you more laughs too.
Yeah, right. It'll certainly wake you up. Okay.
It'll wake you up. So don't forget to find us on all of our socials. The links will be in the show notes. Babies down, bottles up. And if you ever want to talk to us, you can always email us at info@bdbupod.com.
We love our emails so much. We love hearing from everybody. It's so nice. Are y'all drinking?
Oh, I have Gatorade.
Hold on.
Gatorade.
You know I gotta show up because it got too silent.
Yeah, it got real quiet.
So sad.
I have Gatorade.
Can you put crickets in post?
Oh, yeah.
You should.
I love when that happens.
Do it.
Me too.
Yeah,
hey, electrolytes are important. You know, we got to stay hydrated.
That's how I pace. I pace with Gatorade. Is it Gatorade or water?
Gatorade is my jam because I'm not drinking soda anymore.
Well, I'm back with my multivitamin, my AKA high altitude grown wine. In case y'all missed that, apparently if you grow grapes at high altitude, they have more antioxidants. So I'm actually not even drinking at all. I'm just taking my supplements. So, because the crazy thing about my body is that I can't produce my own alcohol on my own.
Oh, really?
So I
really. So you gotta drink.
Isn't it crazy?
Whatever helps you sleep at night. We know the truth,
right?
Keep my secrets.
Danny, are you gonna tell us what you're drinking? Or
is it vodka cran? Is it?
Are you judging?
A skinny margarita.
A skinny margarita.
Imagine. It's
I don't even know what that is.
No, I'm just kidding.
Really?
No,
don't do mimosas like that. I just had one last week.
No, look,
disrespect.
You can fuck up some mimosas. They'll get you there.
Oh my God.
Yummy.
That's probably why I fell asleep on during my feet.
During your massage. Blame it on the mimosas. Yeah. I want a t-shirt that says that. Merch.
Yes.
Hey, merch idea. Mm-hmm.
No, we're staying with vodka. We're staying with vodka this week.
Again. Me too.
Facts. Let's go.
But vodka and what?
So simply lemonade with some pineapple vodka.
Oh, that sounds good.
Oh, that does sound good.
It's bomb.
I mean,
I'm
it could be
drinking
Pink Whitney,
orange
but
Gatorade
fine.
without a top because I lost it. Oh, wait.
Oh no.
Okay, we're good now.
She's like,
Don't
no
spill
worries, we
it.
found it.
I know. That's what I'm afraid of. I don't want to spill it.
Danny, are you just having like vodka on vodka?
Do you think I'm 20?
Yes.
No,
Yes.
I'm almost. I'm
You
22.
It's a vodka Red Bull.
The Sprite adds the 22. It adds the 2 years.
Okay.
Oh,
Okay.
okay.
Y'all are crazy.
That's disrespectful. Well, today we are so lucky because we actually have Kisha's doula with us. And Kisha's told us so much about her that I just feel like we're talking to a celebrity. And I just feel like I can't do her justice. So, Kisha, can you introduce our guest?
Yes, I would love to. So, Angela is a doula here in San Antonio. I met her, oh my God, Zanaya's 5. So it feels like just yesterday I had Zanaya. But I met Angela when I want to say 7 months pregnant. I got started really late. And when I met her, I was excited because she told me that she had worked with people with disabilities before. And so it made me feel like I was in great hands. And it just made my experience a lot more comfortable and memorable because I don't really remember Zane's delivery. I remember bits and pieces, but I can remember everything that happened with Zanaya. And I know it's because I had the support of Angela. And so, Angela, thank you so much for coming on the show. I'm so excited that I actually still like keep in contact with you because you played such a huge part of my pregnancy when I moved to San Antonio. And I don't know, I'm just so happy that you're here.
Me too. I feel honored. And I'm drinking lemonade, by the way, but I wish I had.
Lemonade.
I wish I had put a spot of vodka. No.
It's okay.
No.
Next time.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll be ready.
So tell us a little bit about you, your background, and kind of how you got into being a doula.
Yeah. So my degree is in deaf education. I actually was working with the deaf and hard of hearing for a while.
Okay, so you've been rocking with disabled people forever.
Right.
I have, yes. My
I
world
love an inclusive queen.
and it seems like they migrate. All of y'all migrate to me.
Word of mouth. They're like, Angela, have you heard of her? You need to go see
Yeah.
You should
That
just
was
rebrand
great.
yourself as like the doula for disabled people.
Right. Seriously.
Or the babies down bottles up doula.
Hey.
Hey, I'm ready. And I'm shocked that it's been 5 years.
Yeah.
I'm really shocked, but something new, my daughter, 23 now, she just got certified and we're a mama-daughter team now.
Oh, that's so beautiful.
Oh my
So I like
gosh.
I do.
That's so cool.
Yeah. So like I said, my worlds have collided. I worked with the disabled community at a nonprofit here in San Antonio. And when that company went under, unfortunately, it was like a college for adults with disabilities. And so they lived in our dorms and I taught them classes and stuff. Anyway, when that went under, I would beg people that I knew, my sisters, my cousins, my friends, can I go to your birth? Can I go to your birth? And one of my friends / coworkers said, hey, since Providence Place isn't going to be here anymore, I have a friend that is, you always talk about births and stuff. You could be a doula. And I was like, what's that? And then I met this woman who had another nonprofit and I worked with them up until this year. And unfortunately, the laws changed for doulas. So that company is still in use, but I do recommend for people, they're only for the low income community. So they had to restructure and I was not able to go back to them because, well, they lost 40 doulas. So
Oh,
wow.
we couldn't conform to the new law. So anyway, they're still around. I can give more information for that if you guys need it. And so, so now I work independently. I've helped deaf, blind, people with seizures, people who just suffer from anxiety and lots of different things. And then I've worked with people who are fully able. And I think I'm on probably birth number 53 or something like that. And yeah, I love it.
That's awesome.
Wow. So like what about it drew you to it? Do you just like the miracle of like watching a baby being born? Do you like taking care of people? Like what was the aspect of it that drew you to that?
Probably number 2 first. So, right, like it's not a beautiful thing to do, right?
Yes, I'm so glad you said that because everybody's like, "Oh, it's so beautiful," and I'm like, "It's beautiful after."
Yeah,
but
it's a miracle, but it is messy.
Yeah, it's a messy process. Not pretty.
I will say that I've had to stop some partners from not fainting, right? Like it's not.
Oh my gosh, I'm so sure.
Right? Like one of them was like 6'4", and I said, I can't catch you, so you can't faint right now.
You'll smush me like a pancake.
Your wife's like, come on, no. But yeah, so I really try hard to help the mama to have the lowest stress possible, so that way, whether the labor turns out to be her dream labor or not, that she's not traumatized by it, right? Because we want baby and mama to be safe and to enjoy, if you can even enjoy a birth, right?
Yeah.
But to enjoy the birth,
Absolutely. So when you work with people with disabilities, is there anything that you do differently or anything in particular that you may look out for more so than with other births that you attend?
That depends, right? Like if we look at Kisha, that was different because I feel like she pretty much didn't need me, but she did great. So you have some, disabled or not, that need more support than others. But yes, in the aspect of specifically the blindness, sure, I treated her and her husband differently because it was, I don't know if it's okay to crack a joke, but
It is.
Yeah, go for
We
it.
are
Like,
very.
if y'all have
very
ever heard of the movie Ghost,
Yes.
okay, it was kind of like that, right? Like it's very hands-on. We got very intimate, if you want to call it.
Yeah.
Well, it is a very intimate moment that you're coming into. Like nothing is more intimate than childbirth, right?
It is. Yeah. But it was like, did I modify? Sure. I mean, I was like sandwiched between the two of them so that he would understand how to help her physically and she would understand what it should feel like. And, so yeah, do you modify things? Sure. With the deaf community, it's, they can't hear what's going on. So you modify for that. And, so you just, do you have to do some modifications? Sure. I think it comes pretty easy to me. I don't want that to sound bad.
No, I don't think
you're
so.
fine.
It does come more easily to some people than others.
Right.
It just
Exactly.
does.
Well, and you've been around people with disabilities, so you're used to modifying things for them anyway. So
It's not a first time experience for you. It's not anything that becomes awkward like you have that experience.
Right. Exactly. It's worth it. I love it.
I was just thinking about when you were saying that you had to stop some of the partners from fainting. I just remember someone giving me a cup of ice and I never got a chance to use that cup of ice because Axel took it and like ate all of it. And so
That's funny.
So I'm like,
It's probably like, I need a shock to the system. This is a lot.
because it was
Right.
an unmedicated
do you find
birth.
yourself supporting the husband more than the wife sometimes?
When that happens, I redirect pretty quickly because we don't have time for it.
Yeah.
So true.
I'm bad, I think, but yeah, we don't have time for it, right? When you're in the heat of the moment. I mean, if it's just early labor and it's like, do I want to give them a little bit of attention? Sure. But when it comes down to the, like, we're in active labor, baby's going to come soon. Nah, like you got to,
Get your
in
shit
here.
together,
Right.
Kevin.
It's not about you.
Hold the puke bag, okay? It's coming.
Exactly. Here's some peppermint. Smell that and take a
Yeah.
break.
Keep it moving.
So, as far as the support that you provide, do you do prenatal at birth and then postpartum, or?
I do. And I do everything after that too, right? Like I tell women, don't ever lose my number, because if you ever need anything, even if they're 15 and you have a question, like, don't hesitate to call me. And I know some doulas don't do that, but I think that fortunately and unfortunately, my personality, I jump into very serious, not serious, I shouldn't say serious. I jump into every experience as a friendship, really. And sometimes that's a downfall, but I think that this is one of the most important things that any woman could ever go through, any family, right? I mean, the partner too, and so, yeah, I mean, I want to make sure that I give it all that I can so that they'll be comfortable,
I think that's amazing, because you're right. Like, that is such a vulnerable time in your life, and you're sharing this moment with someone that you would hope also becomes important in your life, and not just like another staff, or you know what I mean? Like, just somebody that's professional.
Right.
So having that relationship would make somebody feel a lot more comfortable with you.
That's a good point, because if you're having a hospital birth, you are going to be coming across a lot of people that you've never met before. But if you've established a relationship with your doula prior to that, that can be like your advocate, like your soft place to fall, your backbone, and just your support, especially if you're like getting, people are trying to encourage you to do things that you're not comfortable doing, or if you're not being heard, it really helps to have that support of someone who knows you prior to walking in those doors that day.
Right. Exactly.
Sure.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Do you ever have to advocate for your patients or your clients?
I do. Yes, I have. It's really more about like settling their fears. But yeah, I've had a couple where there were questionable things that, I don't know like how medical I could get, but like there's different things for softening the cervix before before delivery can happen. And to see a doctor do it without the mother's permission, or breaking water when the mother asked not to, like those kind of things. I've had to, yeah.
I mean, okay, so
They do that?
my births were unmedicated, and they had to break my water, and I don't know if they like didn't realize that I wasn't medicated, but the way they plunge in there is so ruthless. Like, I guess they figure you're already in so much pain that it doesn't really matter.
Yeah.
I mean, that was my experience, and
Yeah, I mean, well, it depends on if it was some sort of was there any type of emergency situation around it?
It was just going fast.
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
I say that, but there's a line, right? Like, okay, so some of the people in hospital birth settings, I hope this doesn't come back to hurt me, but some people in hospital settings, whether they've been a nurse for 5 years or 50 years, the nurses and doctors in the hospital setting, I feel like it may be 50-50, which is a high number in my opinion, of people who jump. They just jump to, it's almost like they have a nervousness that they shouldn't have, in my opinion. And so they tend to panic. And that, in my opinion, sometimes is what led to, for example, oh, it's an emergency C-section, when I saw those signs of emergency, and so as a doula, that's where it's a little bit difficult for us, because we have everybody has their own role, right? And so as a doula, you don't want to step on the doctor's feet, or you don't want to step on the nurse's feet, and so, okay, how can I get this point across, right? And so what I learned early on from my mentor, not the company that I got my certification, but the wonderful mentor that I had, is really where I got my knowledge. And she made it very clear, talk to the mama right in front of everybody, because then you're not stepping on anybody's toes. So in my opinion, if somebody needs or wants a doula, and because everybody needs one, I think, but anyway, if somebody wants a doula, then I think that they should look for a doula that is going to know that trick, if you want to call that a trick.
I like that.
if you see something that potentially is not an emergency or potentially is not something that should be happening, for example, something that the mama does not want to happen, I think that it's really quick thinking, quick acting to talk to the mama right away. So for example, if Kisha was going through something and I said, hey, Kisha, the doctor's about to break your water. Is that what you wanted? That way you don't step on anybody's toes, right? But then you let the doctor know, whoa, hold on, right? Like, let me step back because here's somebody who's advocating. You know what I mean?
Right.
Now, why is that more important for you guys, right? Y'all can't see this happening. So
Exactly.
that's why.
And a lot of times they don't communicate really well about what is about to happen because they assume,
we don't know what we're doing.
Such a medicalized.
Or they assume they know best. So
Right.
they just go through with what they feel like they need to do.
Which is frustrating because, even in emergency situations, like even a few words can be said quickly and that doesn't slow down the care. Like, for example, my water broke when I was 30 weeks pregnant and I got to the hospital and they told me right away, hey, hun, we need to check you. We need to check you right now because baby's cord could have slipped out before baby. And that's very dangerous because that's where baby's getting oxygen. Okay, are we ready? Let's do this. And it was fast, but it wasn't like that I was penetrated without my permission.
Right. That's a great example. Right. But they go in and they go, for example, for somebody who's deaf, oh, they can't hear us. So we're just going to go ahead and proceed. And it's like, hold on. Could you imagine if somebody told you that, okay, we need to cut you open? Well, why? What? Like,
I need some informed consent.
Right.
Yes.
Like, here, sign this paper and let me cut you open. Well, hold on a second. So yes, to get just a quick, but unfortunately, in the disabled community, lots and lots of people are scared of you guys.
Oh,
That's true.
really? That's the first time I've ever heard that.
I believe it.
True.
They just don't know what to do. They don't know what to do with us.
So not to get totally off topic, but it's encompassing for me, right? Okay, so I could look at people and I can see a deaf or a blind person walking toward me. And again, I gravitate, right? Because I love it. But but I see everybody else and they're like, and they like run the other direction. And it's like,
oh my gosh, the way people jump out of our way is crazy.
We don't even, like, if you walk past somebody and you see eye to eye with each other and then somebody says, hello, oh, hi. But when they see a deaf or a blind person, how many people actually greet you guys? I hope it's better than what I think it is.
It's more so like, don't hit me with that stick.
Mm-hmm.
Or, oh my gosh.
Or if they're saying,
or they're grabbing
inspire me, like inspiration porn.
Or I've had times where I've asked for help with someone that I knew was there and they don't answer.
Ignored. Oh
they ignore you.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
That happens a lot.
I used to travel into New York City all the time, and I would be at Port Authority in New York City, and I'm trying to find my bus gate in this huge terminal.
Right.
And I'm just literally walking past people who are talking, and I'm like, excuse me.
And they get quiet.
And they get quiet, and they completely just keep walking. And I'm like, what?
They ignore you. Shame.
It pisses me off so much.
I'm like, wow. And they knew what they were doing, man.
Sometimes when that happens to me, I feel like maybe I'm not talking loud enough. And then I'll go to the next person and I'm louder and I'm still getting ignored. So
it's awful.
And then eventually they're like, why is this blind lady yelling
at you? I know, right? We must look crazy.
Then you become the deranged disabled person.
Right.
I think we're going to rip out a pan.
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. It's like, if you take all of that you already experience in the community, and then you put it in front of a woman who's about to deliver a baby, it's like, what? Like now more than ever, they need you to say something.
Absolutely.
Go in there and be like, not even say open your legs, but just whip the legs open like that.
That actually happened to me. Like I told them I was ready to push, and they like grabbed each of my legs and put them in the stirrups. And I'm like, when I did push, I kicked them out of the stirrups because I didn't want to be in that position. But
your body naturally tells you the way you should give birth. And like your body has this communication with you for a reason.
Yes.
For sure.
Yes, exactly.
And I know, Kisha, that you've mentioned like with your previous birth that there was so much control put over you when you were in the hospital. I'm also curious like how things differed with your birth with Zanaya.
it was a lot smoother. Okay. It was a lot more painful because I labored at home all day, pretty much. But in the
I'd like to add there,
okay.
Lakeisha, you didn't let me come.
Oh, yeah. I wouldn't let her come.
Your house. You were so strong. You're just like, no, I'll wait.
Yeah, I think Angela was actually like speeding to the hospital. She's on the phone with me. Like, I hope I don't get pulled over because I am like going way over the speed limit. Yeah. But it was different because I knew I had Angela there, and I also had my mother-in-law. So I had more people in the room with me that were supportive than I did with my previous birth, because it was just me, the dad, and two of my friends, but they were kind of just like in the corner. One of my friends told me that she was like squeezing her legs tight, like, oh no, I don't want to do it.
She's like,
don't let it happen to me, Lord.
Yeah. But like with Zanaya,
she didn't have sex for a year after that.
I have a 14-year-old. Maybe she can like watch a couple of births.
Right?
Oh my God.
It will traumatize you.
Yeah.
So like for one, there was more support. I felt like in both situations the doctors really weren't communicative or didn't listen. And so I'm glad with Zanaya I had Angela there, because she was able to keep me calm and then also like to advocate for me. And it was an easier birth because I mean it just took one push and she was out, and
Wow.
afterwards I was able to get up and walk around because I didn't have someone forcing me to get an epidural. I honestly think I was too late to get one. I got there pretty late, but it was empowering. Like I actually did a video. I want to say I did a video on Zanaya's birth, and I just talked about how empowered I felt because
it is.
I never thought that like I was walking to the gas station in labor, like, and just
Isn't that
stopping.
so crazy?
Yeah, just stopping like every 5 minutes to double over in pain. But it was just so different, and I was determined not to have not to labor in the hospital. I did not want to do that. And I don't think I would have been able to do it if I didn't have Angela, because I called her a lot.
Yeah.
Aww.
But Lakeisha, so I have a question for you in the sense that when you say you were walking around, do you think that that you prepped more, right? So having me come prenatally, that was more helpful, and you didn't have that with your first pregnancy, right?
Right. Yeah. So
So the
was
preparation
helpful.
is what is important. And I will tell you that there's some women who they have me there, they hear what I'm telling them or trying to educate them, but they don't do it. And then after the birth, they go, gosh, I wish I would have listened to you. That was so hard. And so that's what I tell women, like, prepare your body and your labor will go smoother. I promise. Like,
yeah.
That
makes so much sense.
Mm-hmm.
There's no question about it. You know what I mean? And Kisha, you were very dedicated.
I wanted her out.
Wait. You were dedicated about your preparation, right? Like
Yes.
When I came to you, I don't remember how many times I saw you prenatally, but I'd imagine it was at least 3. And I just know that when I went, it was like, it wasn't falling on deaf ears. It wasn't like, oh, I hear you, but I'm not going to do it. She literally was like, so I've been doing this, and what do I do next? Like, it wasn't just, I'll sit by and hear you, but I'll wait for this to happen. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it makes a difference.
What are some of those things that you guys did to prepare together?
Kisha, do you remember?
I know one session I was sitting on the birthing ball and just bouncing, and And I remember buying one and just being at home and just having nothing to do and just getting on the ball and just bouncing because Zanaya was late. She was 2 days late. And I want to say I was in early labor for a week. And I just remember asking Angela, like, okay, my contractions, they're here, I'm having them, but I think I did go to the hospital and they sent me home because I was not ready for birth.
Mhm.
And so I'm like, what can I do? And you told me to get like the essential oil and like massage my ankles. And so I was like, okay, I'll do whatever I need to.
But also there's some important ones, right? If you research, or I mean, anyone could call me and I could tell them. I never hesitate to take a phone call from people, or to go and visit them. But getting your hips and your sacrum, the end of your tailbone, I guess, if you want to call it that, getting the preparation and the comfort from all the discomfort, right? So women are just so uncomfortable at the end of their pregnancy.
Yes.
And so to allow yourself to have comfort before a delivery makes all the difference. So doing those hip squeezes, and do you remember those, Kisha?
Yeah, those are the ones where I think Axel would like push down on my tailbone, like massages. Those help.
Squeezing your hips.
Yes.
I never heard of that.
Me either.
If you could imagine squeezing somebody squeeze, and you guys should just try it for a massage, right? But so somebody behind you, and if you can imagine that you're on all fours like a yoga position, but you squeeze their hips with their so your knees and your hands are on the floor, right? You have your legs, your knees and your feet open enough that somebody can kneel behind you, right? So then when they squeeze your hips, it actually, if you can picture it takes away some of the pain from your hips being adjusted so much so quickly. But also a pregnant woman who is at least probably 35, 36 weeks along, when you squeeze it, Kisha, do you remember that I would ask you if you could feel your pelvic bones moving?
Yes, I remember. Yeah. I remember that.
So it's really a double helper, I guess, if you want to call it that.
Oh my gosh, I wish somebody would have told me that. Right? I bet that helps with round ligament pain.
Exactly. Yes. Right.
I had round ligament pain since like my second pregnancy from 12 weeks on. My entire pregnancy. It was excruciating.
So that early, you could also do massages, of course, like directly onto your pelvis, and that helps too. But so I don't know that the hip squeeze would work as well or as much. I don't know that it would be as effective for pain that early, but later on, definitely, because it's preparing your body, right? Like you're feel your pelvic bones as somebody pushes on your hips. You can feel your pelvic bones open and close a little bit, and it's really helpful for delivery. So
and very relaxing.
I think that goes back to like being prepared, because with my first baby, I had terrible hip pain in labor. Like that was where I had the majority of my pain during contractions. And my mom tried to do some hip squeezes, but we had never ever practiced them. And I felt like it hurt more. So we just probably weren't doing them right.
No, it's not that. It's that if you could imagine that you're going to, like, let's say you want to be a bodybuilder, right? You're going to go in and you're going to start working your biceps. Well, guess what? They're not going to work very well at first.
Right.
And it's going to hurt first, right?
Sore.
Preparing them to become a bodybuilder. So the same thing for women who are pregnant, right? If you start as early as possible, but at least in your 6th, 7th month, if you start preparing your body with these things, it helps so much that you just see a very big difference. So yeah, I highly suggest those things.
What would you say the biggest challenge of your job would be? There's probably a lot, right?
Yeah, there is a lot. I really, really, really don't like it when they jump to a C-section. San Antonio has one of the highest rates of C-sections, and a lot of them are just unnecessary. They are just unnecessary.
I feel like nowadays they just pretty much ask you whether you want one or not.
Yeah.
Like
Right.
it's like a choice
Yeah.
now.
Absolutely true. I was just on the phone with a mama before I was talking to you guys, and she said, I really wanted to have a VBAC. We all know what that means, VBAC.
Yes. Mhm.
Okay, yeah. So, C-section last time, she wants to try vaginal, and they were like, we were thinking to let you, but now, and they just filled her with fear. Well, this could happen and that could happen. So
That's
she was like,
what they did to me. So I understand that completely.
yeah.
Well, once you have your first C-section, then it just makes it easier to be like, well, you should just have repeat C-sections.
Well, that's what I thought the golden rule was. I thought once you have a C-section, the rest of your births had to be C-section.
No, you can
I was
absolutely,
a VBAC baby.
You can absolutely go for a vaginal birth.
A trial of labor after cesarean.
Right.
That was me. My mom had a C-section with my older sister. I was a vaginal birth, and then my little sister was a C-section.
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I think that intimidation starts early. With my first baby, with both my pregnancies, I had gestational diabetes. But as I was getting closer to my due date, that's when they were saying, we don't want you to go over 39 weeks. Your baby is probably going to be really, really big. And then they started talking to me about shoulder dystocia and just telling me that maybe I should have a C-section because my baby could die if I tried to give birth vaginally because she was probably going to be so big. And she was 6 pounds, 14 ounces. She was not very big. That's a normal size baby.
Right. Well, see, and so I can speak very much on that is that my second baby was 10 pounds, 4 ounces. I had her vaginally. Yeah.
Oh my God.
I had her vaginally, and she had a broken collarbone when she came out. A couple of blood vessels had bursted on her face, but she was fine. Like, it is okay.
I had shoulder dystocia with my second as well. She was 8 pounds, 14 ounces.
Yeah. Oh, that was my third baby.
Baby was fine, but how are you after a
right?
Baby?
Yes.
Like, oh my.
Right. Well, so I can speak to the fact that, and I don't know how much detail y'all want me to go into, but there's also the fear of there's not as much of a fear of this anymore, but doctors used to cut the woman, right?
I had an episiotomy without my permission with my first baby.
See, exactly. Same with me.
And they did not. I specifically said I did not want one. And they did it anyways.
Right. And women now, starting just recently, they're starting to put it back on their birth plan that they do not want an episiotomy because it's highly unlikely that you'll tear that badly. So I was going to that topic because with my first baby, I was a military wife. I was forced to have an epidural. I was forced to have an episiotomy. And that baby was tiny. He was 7 pounds. Like, he was little, 7 pounds, 4 ounces.
Oh my gosh.
So when that second one came along, well, guess what? Their measurements are not always right either. So they put fear into the mama. Oh, we think you're going to have a big baby. Guess what? Sometimes they don't come out bigger.
Yeah.
But in my case, she did 10 pounds, right? So that's okay. I didn't have an episiotomy. I didn't have an epidural, and maybe she had a broken collarbone. Okay. But I didn't tear that bad. Like, everything was fine,
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, you gotta really communicate with your doctor, with your doula, with your nurses, and anyone who will advocate for you, just because of the fact that people, like I said, sometimes they don't want to talk to you. I don't know if y'all have gone into doctor's appointments, and you can tell if you have somebody with you.
Oh yeah.
They're talking to
always. I mean, that happens going to a restaurant. So
what will she have to drink?
Yeah.
Right, exactly. And it's like, I'm right here. I can hear you. I can't see you, but I can hear you. It's okay. Like,
But I just want to go on record, and we've said this on the podcast before, but if you have a doctor, service provider that treats you that way, just change them.
Absolutely.
Because
get a new doctor.
Yeah, get a new doctor. It's not worth it to try to convince anybody of your abilities, especially when it comes to like you being pregnant. You need someone that's going to trust that you're going to be a good parent and that you are capable of doing this. And if somebody can't even talk to you when you come in the room, that's not the provider for you.
Or if they question you, if they question your abilities, then I say go. And you know what? From a doula standpoint, don't be afraid to do it later in your pregnancy.
Yeah.
Yeah, because your labor could be more difficult if you don't have someone who thinks you, or if you have somebody who thinks you can't do it, you know?
Yeah.
That is true.
Yeah.
So were you
feel
a-
like
Oh, go ahead.
Go ahead.
No.
Sorry.
Jinx, you owe me a soda.
Yeah. Do you feel like having a birth plan might like facilitate some of the, uncertainty that you might face from like doctors and nurses and like just in the moment, just help the process?
I do. So if you guys take the extra step that you shouldn't have to, but if you take the extra step to make sure that your doctor knows, talk to me. I know what I'm doing. I know I'm pregnant. I know how it's going to go to have a baby, even if you haven't had a baby yet, so that they know you're able. And if you have to educate them a little bit and you're comfortable with that doctor, then go for it. But I do think that on a birth plan, it doesn't need to be difficult. They don't want to read a book. So you just really can make it so simple. Bullet points, partner's going to cut the cord. I don't want an episiotomy. I like the lights dim. I like it quiet. I like, whatever your case may be, just bullet point. But the top one, unfortunately for you guys, should be, don't forget to talk to me. Don't leave me out of it.
Something so simple that should be common sense, but isn't common.
Right.
Right. Yeah. So for most majority of the women that I've helped, I list all of those things for them as a simple birth plan. But for you guys, for the deaf community, for someone who has seizures or cerebral palsy, or just so many things that I've helped with, I always tell them, make sure you start, the very first bullet should be, treat me like anybody else, and ask me, talk to me, and just educate them to know that I can do it. Like, don't question me.
Or just kind of like what we were talking about earlier, maybe it would be a good reminder to talk you through it, to make sure that you are voicing everything. Oh, I'm saying like the doctor, to make sure that the doctor remembers, like, hey, talk the patient through it, because they can't
make sure you have
doing.
Consent. Yeah. Don't just go in.
So
and
that's
do
a good
stuff.
tip. Yeah.
I'm curious about something that we haven't really touched on too much. But my mother, she's been a labor and delivery nurse longer than I've been alive. And she's mentioned to me that they are doing these gentle cesareans, that for people, for whatever reason, if they're having a cesarean, that you can still have a birth plan and you can still have specifications even if you're having a surgical birth.
Absolutely. Yes.
Oh yeah, I did that.
The doctor that delivered I delivered my third baby, but my fourth baby, she was there. Sorry, she was there, but she let me do everything myself. The fourth baby ended up being a C-section because he came early. And had I known what I know now, by the way, he wouldn't have been a C-section baby, but that's okay. But anyway, I mention her because if you communicate with your doctor, and yes, those gentle C-section is that, like this doctor, she will even say, are you ready, partner? Your baby is about to come out. And she will make it look like, if you could remotely picture this, she makes it look like a delivery from a C-section. Like she brings baby out very slowly. She has pictures that are unreal because it's very slow. The baby doesn't get, shocked and, and then yes, if it's not an emergency situation for the NICU team, right? So for them to come check baby and baby's fine, you can still have skin to skin contact with your baby. Mine was an emergency situation. Like the NICU team did have to come in because he was early. But before they took him, one NICU nurse said, here is your baby. I'm the only one who has touched him aside from the doctors. And then she laid him on me. And then they took him to assess him because, he was early. So they had to check for breathing and stuff. But some of them, if it's not even really that, and it's just like breathing issue or heart sounds a little funny at first or something like that, they still allow skin to skin. They still allow for, photo opportunities and for mama to kiss baby and for, partner to go with the baby or babies and, because sometimes it's twins that are C-section. So, yeah, I mean, it can be gentle and it should be. So I highly suggest that if it becomes a C-section situation, that one, you get educated on what the C-section is going to be like, because so many women, they come in and say, okay, emergency C-section, let's go. And it's like, hold on a second. This is what I do. I want to describe what is about to happen. So can I have a few minutes with her, please? Then you can ask if your doula can go with you. Sometimes they let them in the OR, sometimes they don't.
Mm-hmm.
And then when you get in there, you just ask for, everything to be soft, right? For everything to be still what you would like for it to be. The one thing that they won't do off of a birth plan, if it's a C-section, is they will not let the partner cut the cord.
That makes sense, because you're in a sterile area
Mm-hmm.
too. And like, I've also heard that delayed cord clamping is a little bit different. Like, they can delay it, but like not for forever, really, because you do have like a body cavity that is open at that time.
Right.
Wow. So I want to go back to when you said you delivered your third baby. So I couldn't remember if it was your third baby or your fourth baby, but I remember you telling me that. And I think that was the moment when I was like, okay, I trust her, because she delivered her own baby. How was that?
Was that
in
at
a hospital
home?
setting. No, in a hospital setting.
Can you
Baby
tell us a
number
little more
4.
about it?
Yeah, so hospital setting, the doctor that I had, really, she borderline sort of like a midwife. But I asked her, what will you let me do? Because I was trying to decide, did I want to still go to the hospital where I felt a little bit more comfortable medically, but I wanted to have the best labor that I could possibly have. And I thought that was my last baby anyway. So, and she said, yes, I will guide the head. You do everything else. I said, okay, great. Well, then she wasn't there the day that I went into labor.
Oh, that's scary.
So she called her fellow, doctor and said, okay, you're about to go to a birth that is, I have agreed to this and you're going to have to agree to it. And she did. So she walked in and I said, you're not doctor, and she was like, that's okay. I'm good. I know. And she did. She guided baby's head out. And after that, I just, put my hands down there and I delivered him myself.
Wow.
That's so cool.
How empowering.
It was beautiful. Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. That's
so same
awesome.
doctor, when baby number 4 came along, I felt like I should have gone home. I did have a little leak, but, they start to panic and they made me have fear. And so I sat there for a while, 2 weeks, and then he came 6 weeks early. And it was by C-section. And they did not do all of the steps for an induction. So that's something that your doula has to know, all the steps in case you have an induction, because inductions can lead more to a C-section if you don't do it, all the steps,
I'm not going to lie. Most of the inductions that I've heard about from friends and stuff have ended in C-sections.
Well, I mean, if you have somebody coming in and say it's like your first baby and you're like a fresh 39 weeks and your cervix is like closed, your body is like you're having to talk your body into going into labor. You can't just like slam your uterus and your cervix with contractions and be like, yeah, this is definitely going to work.
Exactly.
Yeah, I think it's difficult. So I developed preeclampsia, and that changed things a lot. And at that point they had to schedule an induction at 36 weeks.
That makes sense.
And so like it ended up in a C-section because of my, the concerns for the baby's health and my own health. But yeah, I mean, I would agree with you, Jocelyn. I think a lot of people that I hear like have been induced are like, yeah, I ended up with a C-section. And I think, there's probably that issue that steps are being skipped to, to help mamas reach that labor.
You're forcing your body to do it.
I was induced with Zane because my water broke. He was 2 weeks early and it didn't end with the C-section, thankfully.
Yay.
Yeah.
But
You're
my
the first one.
Yeah, but my contractions did slow down towards the end of like labor, and so they did have to give me like potassium.
Pitocin.
Pitocin.
Oh, Pitocin.
Pitocin, yeah, the P word. So
It's a
I
bad
was
P
so
word.
out of it. Yeah, I was so out of it. I was just like, whatever at this point. So luckily it didn't get to that point because I don't know how I would have been able to advocate for myself because I didn't have that support there if they were like, oh, we're going to take you into C-section.
And those Pitocin contractions, they hit different.
They do.
Yeah, I've heard
It's
that
100
too.
times. It's 100 times worse. I
They
feel.
are.
Yes.
Even with the epidural, I could still feel it.
Yeah.
I did
Right.
hear a story of a doctor, and he had over time changed the way he approached induction. And he shared this story that he had a 19-year-old African-American woman came in, and she was just tired of being pregnant, and he induced her at 39 weeks on the dot. And her cervix was not favorable, so her body like really wasn't ready to go into labor. They just hit her with all the meds they possibly could. She was in labor for days. She ended up, baby was not handling labor very well. She did end up with a C-section. She hemorrhaged really, really badly because her uterus, after all of those like really, really hard contractions for so long, was just so tired that after baby was born, it just could not clamp down to stop the bleeding. So he ended up having to do a hysterectomy on this 19-year-old woman.
Wow.
And everybody was like, oh my gosh, you're so amazing. You saved her life. And then later down the road, he's like, you know what? I cost this woman her uterus.
That's tragic.
Had I maybe have just waited and not offered an induction for someone who didn't really medically need it, maybe this woman would have had her uterus still.
That's awful.
Right. Well, and the thing is that if they skip those steps, or, there's steps that can be taken before you actually go to a medical, to a medical side of an induction. So if you have someone who can educate you in what you can do at home, and, get your cervix softened, get yourself started to dilate and stuff, then it makes that medical induction a little bit easier as well. So
Yeah, that makes sense.
wow, that's a serious situation.
Yeah.
I'm curious, from a doula's perspective, what do you think about Pitocin?
So, I know it's helpful. What I tell my mamas is, if you end up needing Pitocin, no matter what stage of your labor you're in, you have the final say. So the medical teams usually will say Pitocin, and then they usually go by 2-point increments. So they'll go from 2 to 4 to 6 to 8, all the way up to 30. Okay. No one should ever have to go to 30, in my opinion.
That's a lot.
But the other thing is that they go in 30-minute increments, right? So 2, and then 30 minutes later they come in, okay, we're upping your Pitocin to 4.
Yeah.
30 minutes later, okay, we're upping it.
Yeah.
What else have you done? Right? In that process? Have they turned mama? Have they given her a different position? Have they offered all these other things? Because it's not just the Pitocin that's needed. But when they do it in such short increments, that's what I tell my mamas. If you need Pitocin, you can always say, please don't up it yet. Give me another 30 minutes. You have the final say for your body. They might suggest it, but you have the final say. So give your body more time to adjust, which I don't know why. Oh, I hope this doesn't come back to hurt me, but I don't know why the medical community hasn't caught on to that.
Mm-hmm.
Because when they push the Pitocin so quickly and so, it's like you said, forceful to the body, right? You may not need that. So give the 2-point increments a little more time, in my opinion.
Yeah.
But it is helpful for some labor.
Yeah.
Me too. I mean,
I would have known that.
Both of my babies were inductions, and I had an infection in my uterus with my second baby. So like it wasn't cooperating very well. And they were just increasing my Pitocin. But then I would have like contractions back to back without a break. And sometimes it would be 2 or 3 contractions. And then my baby didn't like that very much. So then like her heart rate would be dropping. So then they would
whole
like
body is in so much stress.
And then they like would stop the Pitocin for a minute and then they would like go back up. And it was just like, it was crazy.
Yeah.
It sounds crazy.
It's rough.
Well, but it works both ways, right? So in my opinion, when they do that, when they stop it and start it back up and they go straight to where they were at,
that's what they were doing. And like my body was not cooperating and my baby did not like that. And then they didn't believe me when I was like, the baby's coming. And they're like, no, I just checked you. You were 5 centimeters. So I was like, no, the baby is like coming out right now. And I had to like beg them to check because she was also a 31 weeker. So she was a little bitty baby. And they were telling me like, she has to be delivered in the operating room because they have the resuscitation room there. And all I could think is like, my baby's going to be born here and nobody's going to be here to resuscitate her. So I don't know. It was, so they weren't listening to me. And a nurse delivered Scarlett. So,
wow.
Yes. The doctor was not even in the room. It was fine. Apparently all the nurses know like basic resuscitation on babies. So that was like, it was fine, but it was like very scary unnecessarily.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Well, I will say Kisha delivered her baby on her own too. Like nice. Baby came out and doctor pretended that she caught the baby.
I know.
Why were we paying you?
I know you were telling me that she didn't even have her gloves on. And
wow.
She had like 1.5 gloves on.
Kisha was like, I know what
slid
I'm
her
doing.
hand in there like, look what I did. No.
Shit, my doctor almost dropped my baby.
Oh my God.
Yeah, so they like had just broken my water like maybe 15 minutes before I started pushing. And so like not all the water was out. And so like there was a lot of water pressure coming out with her.
Oh my God.
So
she was swimming out.
Yes, she was like swimming out. And so when she popped out, it was this fountain and it just splashed. I mean, the doctor was drenched. And my mom was like, she almost slipped out of his hands because it was just so wet. That's so gross.
It's in birth control.
Baby.
Yeah.
Well, is there anything that we haven't like touched on that you think our listeners would really benefit from hearing?
Well, you know, there's a lot, right?
Yeah, I feel like we could be here all day.
I could.
We could do a whole podcast.
Stop me.
I have one silly question.
Uh-huh.
Have you heard of Smurf butt?
Oh my
God. No. What?
So
I haven't heard of that either.
Okay, so it's basically this hormone that pregnant women get that turns their sweat. Like there's pigment in their sweat, and so when they like go to the restroom or whatever, they turn their toilet seat blue, and so they call it Smurf butt. I didn't even know this was a thing, but I saw it on social media, and I'm just like, I wonder if it's more common than like we know.
Okay, so I'm a believer of you learn something new every day.
I'm about to go do some research on this, my friend. I'm going to get back to you on that one.
Danny's cookies just getting completely messed up.
It's real because I've heard of it too.
I've heard of it
I'm about to start getting some wild ads.
People have to like replace their toilet seat because it's blue.
Just magic erasers.
I've never heard that, I'll educate myself.
I need to research it and come back with like the scientific name of it all. Yeah. So that research will be pending.
I have a question for you, being that 53 babies in is a beautiful thing. Congratulations on how long you've been in the profession. But
thanks.
What's the one thing that you've seen in the business or in doing this line of work that you wish you would have had during your pregnancies?
I would have to speak of the C-section because had I known if I had a doula and she had educated me on everything that I know now, I would have gone home and I wouldn't have had a C-section. I wouldn't have had my baby early.
Right. Yeah.
Right. Because an early baby, there's breathing, there's, are the lungs developed, they had to give him a steroid because of the, so it's like you want to avoid as much as you can, to keep baby safe and to avoid, vaginal is much easier than getting a C-section, so, so yeah, if you have the education and if you don't feel like somebody's giving you that, just find it yourself, like, I don't know. I wish I could go on like the biggest news program and just be like, look for these things,
I would agree with you. I think if if it's not an emergency situation and you know what your body can do, like you're gonna be okay. Definitely push for vaginal if possible. Like let C-section be like the absolute last resort.
Last resort. For sure.
Yeah.
That's coming from a C-section mom.
Right.
Yeah. I had two C-sections.
Right.
So yeah, I know. For sure. Well, Angela, thank you.
Well,
so
and
much.
most importantly, I think for anyone to know. Oh, I'm sorry. I was going to say one more thing.
No, you're fine.
No,
most
please
importantly,
continue.
that I just think anyone should know is that any woman should know you have the final say. That's what's most important. And if you know that, educate yourself with everything you can, and just don't be afraid to speak for yourself. You've upped my Pitocin too much, or I didn't ask you for Cervidil, or you didn't ask me for Cervidil and I need Cervidil for, all of those things, so that way you're not afraid and you protect yourself, you get what you want. You get the birth that you want.
Yeah. So can we, list you as a resource for our listeners? Do you have a public social media page? Where can people find you? I know you say you work independently now, but what are some resources maybe that people can use to find a doula?
The baby sound bottles at doula.
Yes.
Right. Well, so, if Kisha ever wants to help me with my technology downfalls, I need to get into the social media world, I guess, and create maybe a website or something. I don't mind if anyone has my phone number. I don't care if you want to FaceTime me or call me from another state. Can you, once COVID hit, we really learned how to use use our skills to help women as we were just like by phone,
Yeah.
But
sure.
Can we list your email?
Since I don't. Sure. Yeah. My email, my phone number. I have FaceTime and WhatsApp and all that stuff. So I can do that. And then, yeah, I go and see anybody in San Antonio and the surrounding areas. So yeah.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Thank you. Well, yes, you're officially our Babies Down Bottles Up doula resource.
Yes.
Yay. Thank you.
Yes.
This has been so great.
And I can give y'all other resources in the community too, because, there's so much more to know for what's out there to help you as a new mama, especially for first-time mamas. So, any of those resources for everything from WIC to where you can get free diapers, to where you can get help with childcare, to where you can get, name it. I have a bunch of resources that I can give to you guys, and y'all can just spread the word. Get a doula. It's important,
For sure. I wish I would have had one. I think
me too.
It's a great experience.
My entire experience. Yeah.
Oh, so does that mean that y'all are promising me that if any of y'all have another baby, that you'll call me?
Oh yeah, for sure.
I live
Well,
in
I'm
Colorado,
out.
So are you? Do you travel?
Oh, you're in Colorado? Wow.
Yes.
I would love to.
I plan on a home birth with my next baby, so
And she's gonna YouTube stream the
I
whole
am going to stream it.
You could just be her doula.
No, we're turning this into a whole empire. We're gonna produce documentaries and everything. It's gonna be a whole documentary, baby.
She's having a baby for the podcast.
That's right,
for
baby.
the
For the culture.
I love it. Yes.
For the brand.
Yes.
That's a no-brainer for me.
You can call me to give you any kind of information. Yes.
I don't plan on having any more kids, but if I do, you already know that you're the first number I'm calling.
Yeah.
Angela, thank you so much for your time and for coming on the show. This has really been such a great episode, and I've learned so much. And just you taking the time to answer all our questions has been really great. We really appreciate it.
We do. Thank you so much.
Great,
it's good
yeah.
hearing your voice, and because we haven't talked on the phone, we talk through text all the time. So it's really good just hearing you and talking to you.
I just need to come visit you. I need to hug those babies again.
Yes. Come see us.
I love
thank
that
you
you guys
so much.
anymore. Yeah, I love that you guys are still in touch. That's so awesome.
It's beautiful.
Yeah.
Until next time.
Bye.
Bye.